Are we gonna have a real estate fall rebound or a crash? And I just read this headline. Home prices are set to plunge across much of Ontario this fall. Now, the fine print says 53% of Ontario is expected to have a seller's market, 40% is expected to be balanced, and 7% is expected to be a seller's market. The article goes on to say that the GTA and some other areas, some hot markets, are going to see increases. That's a fairly misleading headline. You know, the one thing this article says that I agree with, it says the GTA will continue to face short and long-term challenges. I know that's kind of a motherhood statement, but you know, really it's hard to know what's going to happen in the GTA. It's hard to know what's going to happen in real estate in general, but you know, let's look at that in this video. Let's unpack what's actually happening and some of the drivers behind that. So TRREB just released the numbers for August. So sales were down 5.2%. So now we're comparing August 2022 to August 2023. New listings were up 16.2%. So there was some added supply to the marketplace compared to last August. And the average price was basically flat. It was up 0.3%. You know, but remember, that was when interest rates were half of what they are now. So, I mean, if that doesn't foreshadow a little bit of, you know, the market hasn't really crashed and, you know, what is expected to come, you know, I don't know what will. You know, and that's very different depending on the property type and the location. So you have to be careful. It's a hyper-local market and it really depends on the property you're looking to buy or sell. As an example, semi-detached houses were up 9.4% in the 416. Condos were down 1.8% in the 416. Now it's a bit misleading because now you're saying, oh, well, the condos were down a bit and houses were up, and they were sort of in general. How does that average then not go up so much? Well, more condos than anything else are sold. It's heavily weighted to condos, the Toronto real estate market. So that's why, you know, you see, while the price is only up a little bit, houses can be up significantly more and condos can be down because they're pulling down the average. If that makes sense. You know, so as we talked about in June, the summer market, you know, was a fairly balanced market. You know, maybe a little bit more of a balanced market for houses and a bit of a seller's market for, buyer's market for condos, you know, and that's what we experienced. We were able to buy some people houses during the summer months, you know, and we got conditions and we got, you know, below asking prices, things that probably haven't seen for a while or may not see for a while. And then condos, you know, condos are very easy to buy. They were, at least in the summer, and probably will continue to be. And a bit harder to sell. You know, luckily we sold all the condos we were selling, you know, mainly because we do a great job. So all that information is in the past. That's what happened in the past. So what's happening and what's going to happen in the future, let's sort of look at that landscape. So the Bank of Canada just announced that they're going to hold rates at 5%. You know, and that was really predicated. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. Economic growth slowed for the second quarter, of 2023. It was down actually 0.2% on an annualized rate. But when you think of that in terms of the population growth that we've had, which is over 2 million now in the last year, and that's because StatsCan wasn't reporting student visas and such, and you know, it was just pointed out that they need to now add that because it's really hard to plan if you don't have the full picture. So what that means is the per capita GDP growth is very negative, like over 4%, and I'm sure that's catching the attention of the Bank of Canada. So core inflation is still running at about 3.5%, which is above the Bank of Canada target. So some of those things, you know, in that number are out of our control. It's not demand related. It's not something the Bank of Canada can crush by, you know, reducing demand like food and fuel, and that makes up a significant portion of the inflation. You know, people still have to eat, they still have to get to work. You know, one of the things they do control is housing, which, you know, is up to a third of that number is related to, you know, rising mortgage and rent costs, which rising interest rates hurts. So, You know, the Bank of Canada is in a sticky situation. I get it. They don't want inflation to become endemic. What they're trying to do is, you know, talk a good talk and reduce it. But, you know, now the economy is slowing. There's a lot of things happening. Inflation still isn't being crushed. So the point of all that is, you know, buyer sentiment. Where are buyers landing? You know, if there's a recession coming, are they going to be slightly negative? You know, the Bank of Canada's holding rates. At some point, they're probably going to have to reduce them. You know, I would have said by now, but I guess not. So maybe in 2024. So that really affects, you know, the market. And the problem with the Toronto market is, you know, when buyers don't feel like they should go out there and buy, it's not like they go away, they just wait, right? And now the alternatives are an expensive rent. All that to say is the buyers don't go away and they're gonna come back, and at some point, it's gonna be a frothy market. Again, don't know exactly when that is, but it could be this fall or it could be next year. In terms of houses versus condos, you know, supply-wise, we're not building any more houses, so people wanting to move up to a house, there's a finite number of houses you can move up to, and condos, we are making more condos. Unfortunately, we sort of stopped building, you know, new buildings have, new construction has fallen off a cliff, so to speak. People aren't building new projects because they're expensive and financing costs are so high, which means in, you know, 3 years, we're really going to have a supply crunch. The Toronto market is really a buyer's sentiment market. That, you know, supply is not changing and not moving up quick enough, and lots of people are still moving here. That was probably going to continue, at least in the short term and medium term. So it's really, you know, when do buyers want to come back into the market? They're probably going to come back into houses this fall. You know, that's what we think. And condos, you know, there is some supply of condos still coming online this year. So that will, you know, will tend to keep condo prices from inflating. So it's probably still a good time to buy condos. But houses, it's definitely going to be more supply constrained. So if you are looking to buy, you know, especially a house, the time is probably right now. As soon as you watch this video, the market is picking up, supply is coming back, but people are also calling us and saying, hey, we're back from our summer, we're ready to get out there, ready to start looking again. So, you know, you will see some buyers come back to the market, and, you know, at least anecdotally so far, that's what's happened. Now condos, like we said, there's still a bit of time on condos. There's still supply coming. You know, I don't think prices are gonna go crazy. It's a great time to buy a condo. In terms of selling, if you're selling a house, it's probably gonna be a good time to sell a house this fall. That's what we're telling our clients. That's, you know, we're gonna be marketing lots of properties this fall. You know, the really tricky point, and the point we have a lot of conversation with our clients is, you know, if you need to sell a condo to buy a house, you know, then we really need to sit down and plan it out, because, you know, a condo is more of a buyer's market, a house is more of a seller's market. So you're at the opposite ends of where you want to be in those markets. If you're looking to sell a house and buy a condo, great. Buy the condo first and then you can sell your house at any time. It's complex and it depends where you want to be and what you want to buy. So happy to help. Shoot us an email, give us a call, info@thinkto.ca. Happy to help you think about that. Hope you found this market update hugely helpful. It's went a little deeper this month because we're setting off for the fall market. And if you're getting value out of this, please smash that subscribe button so we know to make more content just like this. Talk soon.